All right, so today we are diving into some pretty wild waters.
Yeah.
You've probably heard about Argentina's LIBRA coin and all the whole meme coin meltdown that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to go way beyond the headlines in this deep dive.
For sure.
We've got articles, we've got video transcripts, we've got some leaked audio.
Oh, wow.
That paints a really crazy picture.
I think what's so interesting about this is that this isn't just a typical meme coin pump and dump.
Right.
We're talking about a sitting president,
right?
Javier Milei.
Yeah.
Promoting this coin and promising it would boost the Argentine economy.
And remember, this guy is a self-proclaimed, an anarchist capitalist?
Yeah, anarchist capitalist, economist, hardcore economist.
Who's been making some pretty big moves to try and tackle Argentina's crazy inflation problem.
Absolutely, yeah.
And before this whole thing blew up, his policies were actually showing some positive results.
Yeah, they actually were.
Which makes you wonder, what on earth possessed him to get involved with a meme coin? We all know how volatile those things are.
That's right. And that volatility is actually part of what attracts these speculative investors.
Sure.
They're hoping to ride the wave, make a quick buck.
Yeah.
But the Libra situation goes way deeper than that.
Okay.
This wasn't just a case of the market doing its thing.
So set the scene for us. It's Valentine's Day. President Milei tweets about this new Libra coin, promises it's going to be huge for Argentina. It's going to support small businesses.
Right.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah. All that.
What happens next?
Well, the coin launches, and initially it explodes.
Yeah.
We're talking a $4.5 billion market cap within hours.
Wow.
But then just as quickly it crashes.
Oh, no.
90% drop practically overnight.
Wow.
Imagine the chaos, people losing their savings, maybe even their life savings.
Yeah. Hundreds of millions of dollars just poof, gone.
Yeah.
And then Milei deletes his tweet, claims he wasn't fully aware of the project's details.
Yeah, that's right.
Seems a little convenient, don't you think?
Yeah. It certainly raises questions.
Yeah.
Was he genuinely unaware?
Yeah.
Which, for a president, particularly one with his economic background, would be a major lapse in judgment.
Yeah.
Or was he trying to distance himself when he realized things were going south?
Sure.
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But the timing is definitely suspicious.
Okay, so enter the mastermind behind Libra, Hayden Davis.
Yeah.
This 28-year-old CEO of a firm called Kelsier Ventures.
Yeah.
And this guy is a piece of work.
He is.
I mean, he goes on CoffeeZilla's YouTube channel, but basically the digital equivalent of a perk walk for crypto scammers.
Right.
And admits to orchestrating the whole thing.
Pretty much, yeah. And he's shockingly candid about it.
Yeah.
Claims he's got control of over $100 million from the rug pull.
Wow.
Even talks about injecting the money back into the chart.
Right.
Which sounds almost noble until you realize it would mainly benefit him and the other early investors.
So is this just a case of a few bad apples, or is there something more systemic going on here? Because Davis has been linked to other meme coin launches, even Melania Trump's coin, which raises some serious red flags.
It does. It suggests a pattern of manipulation, a network of individuals exploiting this unregulated space for their own profit.
Yeah.
And it's not just about individual bad actors either.
Okay.
We need to look at the platforms that facilitate these launches, the exchanges that list these coins. They're all part of this ecosystem.
And that brings us to Solana.
Yeah.
The platform that's become the go-to for meme coin launches.
It has.
They're known for speed and low transaction fees.
Right.
Which is great for legitimate projects.
Yeah.
But it also makes them attractive for these pump and dump schemes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Solana's technology can't really differentiate between legitimate trading and bot-driven manipulation.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because it creates an environment where these rug pulls can happen so quickly with such devastating consequences.
We've got some leaked audio from Ben Shao, the co-founder of Meteora, a decentralized exchange built on Solana.
Oh, wow.
And when he learns about the extent of the insider trading happening on his platform, he's horrified.
Oh, jeez.
His reaction is telling.
Yeah.
He compares it to FTX.
Right.
One of the biggest crypto collapses in history.
Yeah.
And then he resigns.
Wow.
If someone at that level is freaking out, there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where does this leave Solana?
Right.
Are they just an innocent bystander, or are they complicit in this system of manipulation?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Some people argue that Solana's just providing a platform so that they can't control what happens on it.
Right.
But others say they're benefiting from the trading volume.
Right.
Regardless of whether the underlying assets are legitimate.
Yeah.
They're turning a blind eye to the shady stuff because it's profitable.
So are meme coins just inherently risky?
Yeah.
I mean, is it even possible to have a, fun, community-driven meme coin that's not just a ticking time bomb, or is the whole thing just a rigged game?
That's what we need to unpack. Is this just a case of growing pains?
Yeah.
For a new technology? Or does it point to something fundamentally flawed in the way meme coins are structured and traded?
All right, so we've laid out the players, we've laid out the platform and the problem. But what I really want to know is, what does this mean for the average person who just wants to dip their toes into the crypto world? Are they just setting themselves up to be fleeced?
Right. Yeah, that's the scary part, isn't it? You see a president tweeting about a coin, you hear all this buzz about Solana and how fast and cheap it is, and you think, hey, maybe I can get in on this. But this whole Libra situation shows just how quickly things can go wrong.
Yeah, so what are we supposed to do? I mean, are we all just supposed to become crypto experts overnight to avoid getting scammed?
Well, becoming more informed is definitely a good start.
Sure.
Understanding how these meme coins work,
Right.
the technology behind them, the role of bots and market manipulation, it all helps. But honestly, it shouldn't be this complicated.
Right.
There's a real need for more transparency,
Yeah.
for platforms to take more responsibility for what happens on their watch. It feels like the Wild West out there right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there are all these projects popping up, promises of, getting rich quickly. It's hard to know what's legit and what's a scam.
Right, and that's where regulation comes in.
Yeah.
I know it's a touchy subject for some people in the crypto community.
Yeah.
They see it as a threat to decentralization, but when you have situations like this where people are losing their savings,
Right.
where a country's president is involved in a rug pull, it becomes a matter of public interest.
So what kind of regulation are we talking about? I mean, would the SEC even have jurisdiction over meme coins?
That's a big debate right now.
Yeah.
Some people argue that meme coins should be treated like securities,
Okay.
which would mean stricter regulations, more oversight. Others say they're more like commodities, which would mean a lighter touch.
But wouldn't that stifle innovation? I mean, one of the things that's so exciting about crypto is that it's this whole new frontier. People are experimenting, they're pushing boundaries.
Yeah, I understand that concern, and it's a valid one. We don't want to kill the goose that laid the golden egg, so to speak.
Right.
But there has to be a balance.
Yeah.
We can't just let the Wild West mentality run rampant, not when people's financial well-being is at stake.
So what would a more responsible meme coin ecosystem look like?
Right.
What needs to change?
Well, for starters, we need more transparency.
Okay.
Projects should have to disclose their team,
Yeah.
their tokenomics, their roadmap.
Okay.
We need clear guidelines about what constitutes market manipulation, what role bots can play in trading.
Right.
And platforms need to be held accountable for listing projects that are clearly scams.
That sounds like a lot to ask. I mean, is the crypto industry even ready for that level of oversight?
Maybe not everyone,
Yeah.
but I think there's a growing realization that things can't continue the way they are.
Right.
This Libra debacle, it's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
We need to find a way to protect investors without stifling innovation.
So it sounds like we need a combination of things. More education for investors, clearer regulations, and platforms taking more responsibility.
Exactly. And it's not just about protecting investors. It's about the long-term health of the crypto space. If we want to see mainstream adoption, if we want crypto to become a truly transformative technology, we need to build trust. And that starts with addressing these systemic issues.
So what does this mean for Solana? I mean, they've taken a hit to their reputation. Can they recover from this?
It's hard to say. A lot depends on how they respond to the situation. If they take concrete steps to address the concerns about manipulation, if they work with regulators to create a more transparent ecosystem, they might be able to regain some of that lost trust.
But if they just try to sweep it under the rug and continue with business as usual,
then they risk becoming synonymous with these pump and dump schemes, the Wild West of crypto, where anything goes, and that's not a good look for any platform, especially one that's trying to attract mainstream users.
okay, so let's bring it back to the listener. What's the takeaway here? What should people be doing differently?
Well, first of all, don't panic. Crypto is still a young technology, and it's going through some growing pains. But these growing pains can be pretty painful, as we've seen with Libra. So what can you do?
I'm all ears.
Educate yourself. Learn about how these meme coins work, the technology behind them, the risks involved. Don't just blindly follow what you see on Twitter or YouTube. Do your own research.
That sounds like good advice for life in general, not just crypto.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask questions if something sounds too good to be true. It probably is. There are plenty of legitimate projects out there, but there's also a lot of hype and misinformation.
So be skeptical. be informed, and do your homework.
Exactly. And remember, this isn't just about protecting your own investments. It's about creating a healthier crypto ecosystem for everyone. We all have a role to play in that.
So what about the big picture? I mean, is there a future for meme coins beyond just being vehicles for scams and manipulation? Can they actually become something positive, something that benefits the community?
That's the question, isn't it? Can we harness the energy and enthusiasm around meme coins and channel it into something more sustainable, something that creates value rather than just extracting it?
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the problems, the risks, the need for regulation. But what about the potential? What could a positive future for meme coins look like?
Yeah, it feels like we've been focusing on the dark side of meme coins, but
Yeah.
is there a way to flip the script? Could there be a version of this that's actually good?
It's an interesting thought experiment.
Yeah.
What if instead of being these tools for pump and dumps and rug pulls, meme coins were actually used to build communities,
Right.
to support creative projects,
Yeah.
to even fund social causes?
Okay, I'm intrigued. Paint me a picture. What would a quote unquote good meme coin ecosystem look like?
Imagine a meme coin that's built around a specific niche,
Okay.
a shared interest or passion.
Mhm.
Let's say it's a meme coin for music lovers.
Okay.
The coin could be used to support up-and-coming artists, fund concerts, even to give fans access to exclusive content. So it's like a community-driven patronage system powered by a meme coin.
Exactly. And because it's built on blockchain technology,
Yeah.
everything is transparent. You can see where the money is going, how it's being used. There's no need to trust a central authority or a faceless corporation.
But wouldn't that require a fundamental shift in how we think about meme coins?
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's all about speculation.
Yeah.
About making a quick buck.
It would definitely require a change in mindset. We'd need to move away from the get-rich-quick mentality and focus on building something sustainable, something that adds value to the community.
And how do we get there? How do we make that shift happen?
It starts with education.
Okay.
We need to show people that meme coins can be more than just speculative assets.
Yeah.
We need to highlight the projects that are doing things differently, the ones that are using meme coins for good.
And maybe we need to rethink the name. I mean, meme coin has become synonymous with scams and volatility.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we need a new term, something that reflects this more positive, community-driven approach.
I like that a rebranding might be in order.
Something that emphasizes the social aspect, the potential for good.
So maybe instead of meme coins, we call them community coins or impact tokens.
There you go. Now you're thinking like a crypto pioneer.
Oh, well, I do have the best guide in the business. But seriously, if we want to see a brighter future for meme coins, we need to start having these conversations. We need to challenge the assumptions, explore the possibilities, and push for change.
Absolutely. And remember, the crypto space is still young.
Right.
It's evolving rapidly. We have the opportunity to shape it, to steer it in a more positive direction.
Yeah, this whole Libra debacle, as messy and chaotic as it's been, maybe it's the wake-up call we needed.
Yeah.
A reminder that with great power comes great responsibility.
And a reminder that the future of crypto isn't predetermined. It's up to us, the community, to decide what it looks like.
So what's the final takeaway for our listener? What should they be thinking about as they navigate this wild world of meme coins?
Be curious, be skeptical, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Challenge the status quo, explore the alternatives, and remember that investing in crypto, especially meme coins, is still a risky business.
But amidst all that risk, there's also a sense of possibility, a chance to be part of something truly transformative.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll look back at this Libra mess as the turning point, the moment when we decided to build a more ethical, more sustainable, and yes, even more fun crypto future.
A crypto future where meme coins, or whatever we end up calling them, actually live up to their potential. That's a future I can get behind.
Me too. And I think that's a great place to leave our deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and as always, keep diving deep.